You may have seen people in the gym or on Instagram use those looped resistance bands to do their glute exercises. But some people are using rubber mini bands and other people are using fabric resistance bands. Which one is best? Well, I'm going to show you just that in this video. So hit that like button and stay tuned. Hello, I'm Dr. Sandy Baird. Welcome back to another video. If you'd like to learn how to move better, how to decrease your pain, and how to maintain a healthy, active lifestyle, start now by hitting that subscribe button and click that bell notification icon so you don't miss a single video. In today's video, I'm going to go over the two main kinds of resistance bands that are used in the gym, the rubber mini bands and the fabric resistance bands. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of each, and then finally I'll make some recommendations for which I think are the most effective for your workouts. Okay, so let's dig in. Now, just to be clear, we're not talking in this video about those big looped resistance bands that you'd use commonly for pull-up assistance or mobility work or full body exercises. We're talking specifically about looped resistance bands that are designed to be placed just above the knees or around the feet to provide resistance for glute exercises. They're commonly known as glute bands, booty bands, or they go by branded names like the hip circle or the glute loop. The longer pull-up assistance bands don't come in fabric, so you only really have one buying choice for that. But let's look at the type that you're going to be using primarily for glute exercises. So first up, let's look at the actual material type. So the rubber mini bands are made of natural rubber latex. According to a definition from westpharma.com, natural rubber latex is a milky fluid that consists of extremely small particles of rubber obtained from plants, mainly from the rubber tree, dispersed in an aqueous medium. Okay, so basically little particles of rubber in something that's wet, and then you can form products from this natural rubber latex by dipping it, extruding it, or coating it using a certain process. So this allows them to be super stretchy, and they can be created with different levels of stretch and resistance. Most of the mini bands on the market do contain latex, so if you have a latex allergy, you're going to want to avoid those bands. Now, there are a few brands that sell non-latex bands, and they're going to set you back an extra $5 or so per set, but I think that might be worth it to avoid the spectrum of symptoms of latex allergy that range anywhere from a mild skin reaction to life-threatening shock. Fabric looped resistance bands, however, won't stretch as far as the mini rubber bands. They're typically wider, so they're about 3 or 4 inches wide, and they have elasticated material sewn into fabric to create a durable band that offers light, medium, or heavy resistance. They come in all sorts of colors and patterns in case you want to match your band to your gym outfit or something, or if you just find a particular color fun and motivating. The rubber mini bands tend to come in more or less just primary colors. So that's the material considerations. Before we get into the pros and the cons of each type of band, if you are wondering what exercises you're supposed to be doing when and how to do these exercises properly, I do have a program that's a corrective strength-focused program just for the glutes, and I'm going to link that down in the description box below in case that's useful to you. So what's good and what's bad about the two different kinds of bands? First of all, let's look at price. So rubber mini bands are typically going to run you about $5 for a single band, and then anywhere from $9 to $20 for a set of bands. The lowest resistance band, typically the yellow one in some of the more popular brands, is great for beginners, and it is very, very, very light resistance. It'll help you get used to a new exercise without having to pile on the resistance. They will eventually degrade and break over time, especially if they get sweaty or dirty or chalky. I have had a few of the rubber mini bands break or snap at me, and it wasn't a big deal because I was doing glute exercises, so it wasn't like I was doing any exercises that were up near my face or my eyes or anything. Still, it's kind of a bummer if you start a workout with a band and it snaps and you don't have an extra one on you. And then the one thing that I do find really annoying about those rubber mini bands is that they tend to roll up on you. So they will grip your skin and kind of irritate the skin. If you have leg hair, they're going to pull on the leg hair, and they just kind of roll up and put a lot of pressure right above your knees, which can actually inhibit your movement patterns. If your body is telling your brain that it's in pain, you're not going to be able to move as well. Fabric looped resistance bands have come a long way in the last 5 or 10 years. To my knowledge, the first elasticated fabric band that really became popular on the market was called the hip circle, and it was a band designed by a power lifter named Mark Bell, and it's this really super sturdy piece of fabric. You couldn't tear that thing apart with a machine, which is great. It's never gonna break down on you, but at the same time, it's too much for certain exercises, at least for most people. It's great for a certain set of exercises, but there are exercises that I've been doing that I can feel that my form is breaking down because I'm pushing against just too much resistance and other muscles are jumping in to try to compensate, and that's really not what we want. And then the main consideration with these fabric bands is getting not only the resistance right, but the circumference or the length of it right. So oftentimes when people sell these 3-pack sets online, they make the bands of different lengths. So the smallest band is like the heaviest resistance, right? And then the next band is medium resistance, and then it goes out to light resistance. And the problem with that is that if you have a band that's really small and it's heavy resistance, you're barely going to be able to get your legs through it for in the first place. And then it's going to be too hard to press out against that resistance. And then on the other end of the spectrum, when you have that really long or wide band, you put your legs through it, and then you have to go to a pretty good range of motion before you even start to feel some of the tension from that resistance. So the ones that are actually better are the kinds where the bands are the same size, they're an appropriate circumference to fit around above your knees, and they're made with different types of elastic. So strong elastic, medium elastic, light elastic, to get the right amount of stretch, but to keep them at the proper size. So I'll link my favorite one in the description box, and it's one of those sets that has taken that into consideration. And then I'll also drop a link down in the description box for an affordable set of rubber mini bands if you want to start with those. So what do you think? What kind of band do you currently use? And what are you leaning towards now after watching this video? Let me know down in the comments section below. All right, go ahead and hit that like button if you like this video. Please share it with a friend that you think it would be helpful to. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, you can do that over here. And then there's more videos that you might be interested over here as well. Okay, thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next one.